and serve in heaven. There are watchers all over the city. And I see everything.
She is threatening the natural order of things. Destroyed the girl called Alita.
I do not stand by in the presence of evil.
Alita, Battle Angel, February 14th.
Introducing Wendy's $5 Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger Meal. For $5, this giant comes with double the beef and bacon, nuggets, fries, and a drink. There's nothing junior about it, except the price. For a limited time.
Behold the power of the $5 bill. Well, thank you, Dad. Oh, you're welcome, family. What would we do without you? I shudder to wonder.
At Pizza Hut, we're a $5 lineup of your favorites for just a Lincoln each.
Yeah.
After an unbeaten 2018, the USA embark on a journey to conquer 2019.
I've got that lightning inside me.
Today, it's a World Cup preview like you've never seen.
Morgan's got another.
The defending world champions travel to France to take on the #3 team in the world.
This is how legends are made.
Their hosts tonight and this summer, the ladies of Les Bleus.
Driven. Great finish.
The Road to France is live on FS1.
The pregame show is sponsored by AT&T. We are bringing you this from the city of La Havre today. It's a highly anticipated Women's World Cup tune-up between two of the top teams in the world. #1, the United States, versus third-ranked France, and it comes away from sold-out Stade Océan, one of 9 venues for this summer's World Cup. 139 days from now, the eyes of the soccer world will be right there in France for the start of the 2019 Women's World Cup. The 3-time and defending World Cup champs have never repeated as champs. Jill Ellis' side looking to build some early momentum for a tournament that you can catch right here on Fox Sports. Glad you're here with us today. Rob Stone with a pair of 2015 Women's World Cup champs with you. Megan Klingenberger, Heather O'Reilly. The U.S. and France, clearly two of the favorites this summer. They're also on track for a potential collision course come June. Should both win their groups and then their first knockout stage match, they would have a quarterfinal meeting in Paris. But first up, today, January, there is a major psychological impact to this one for really both nations.
Absolutely. Both nations could benefit from this game. As Megan and I know, January camp, usually in California, usually in the sun, usually just focusing on yourself and squad selection. But it's a little bit more comfortable. Jill Ellis brings this team to Europe. In the winter, it's cold. They're playing France, the host country, with players that play together a lot of the year, their club football. This team's played in. It was a real gutsy move to have this game in Europe at this time. I think in comparison to both teams, though, the opportunity for a psychological edge goes to France. If they could put together a good performance and put together a win against the reigning champions of the World Cup, it could really get a lot of attention and enthusiasm for their country going forward into the year.
Yeah, absolutely, Heather. And France has their A squad out today. They're bringing their A squad. They're bringing their A game. And what I'm looking forward to is that this is going to be a great test for the United States, especially their back line. Now, will their back line be able to handle France's pressure because they have some of the best pressure, organized pressure in the world? Is the back line going to be able to play out? Are they going to build? Are they going to play through lines? Or are they going to be able to just lump it out because there's so much pressure? This is going to be such a great game for Jill Ellis to look at the team, see where they need to learn, see where they need to tweak, take the result and basically analyze it and see where they need to go to be able to prepare for the World Cup, because this is one of the best teams in the world. You're playing them in France. You're going to see them in France, I assume. And it's just such a great opportunity for the United States to use this game as a warm-up for the World Cup.
It's a wonderful kickstart for both of these programs. The entire nation, not just the team, but the nation of France could really start to get some early generation of some energy and some optimism for the summer. And the U.S. saying, We're the defending champs. Everybody knows they're coming at them this summer. Take care of number 3 at the home of number 3. You make a big early statement. Could see some history today as well. Alex Morgan sitting on 98 goals. Could become the 7th ever U.S. women's national team player to hit 100 goals in the U.S. Remember, they entered this one riding a 28-game unbeaten run. Now they have a chance to hand France their first home loss in more than 3 years. Over 25,000 on hand for this one that kicks off in just under 11 minutes.
When Domino's is out for delivery, use Domino's new dinner bell to get the family home.
Sorry. 8 atoms of hydrogen. You're never gonna use this anyway. I gotta go.
Ring the dinner bell and they'll come running for their mix and match favorites. Choose any 2 or more like bread twists, specialty chicken, pizza, or salads for only $5.99 each.
Just 2 weeks from today, the U.S. men's national team takes center stage on Fox. New manager Greg Berhalter rolls out the new look U.S. against CONCACAF rivals Costa Rica. Coverage live from San Jose. The Americans, of course, gearing up for this summer's Gold Cup, which also comes your way right here on Fox Sports. The U.S. women, though, set to face France for the 23rd time. The Americans pretty much dominated this series, winning 17 times, but France unbeaten in the last 2 meetings. Walkouts and kickoff coming up in 8.5.
I see it all the time. Your friends invite you out, and you're always busy. Eventually, they invite someone else, like me, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Do you really want Jean-Claude Van Damme hanging out with your friends? Taking selfies, bonding over chips and chips, becoming BFFs forever. Suddenly, I find myself here, where you're supposed to be. And you just got Van Dammed. Don't get Van Dammed. Get together already with Tostitos.
FS1's coverage is sponsored by Volkswagen, the presenting sponsor of U.S. Soccer, and our coverage this summer will originate from Paris. Today, though, we're about 125 miles northwest of the capital city. In Le Havre, as the #1 and #3 ranked teams in the world make their way out onto the field. Again, a sellout crowd for this one. The U.S. is out of their comfort zone. And, Meg, you have your eyes on Pugh and Press today. Why?
Yeah, Kristen Press and Mallory Pugh, it's not exactly a make-or-break game for them because they're going to be on the World Cup roster, but they have to prove to Jill Ellis that they can impact a big game against a big team, and this is their chance.
Both teams out of their comfort zone in a way, and here we are early January with the Women's World Cup kicking off in just 139 days, and the U.S., as they typically are, full of smiles and full of optimism ahead of this one.
De vous lever afin de respecter les hymnes nationaux des deux équipes. Et on va commencer par l'hymne national des États-Unis. Et maintenant, mesdames, messieurs, chers supporters, la Marseillaise.
Temperatures right now feels like mid-30s, slight chance of precipitation for this one, which could be a Women's World Cup preview. Number 1, the U.S. versus number 3, France. These two could be meeting in the quarterfinals in Paris later in June. We'll see you next at halftime for the call. The Hall of Famer, J.P. Delacamera and Ali Wagner.
Thanks so much, Rob. Here's the starting 11 for France. Ali, it's a loaded lineup.
It is fully loaded, but it's a little bit of a wrinkle that I wasn't anticipating. They've been preferring their 3-4-3 as of late, but it looks like they're going to come out in a 4-2-3-1. But pay no attention to that in terms of whether or not they're going to get after the U.S. Majri likes to fly down that left side, and her connection with Eugenie Le Sommer is fantastic and something the U.S. is going to have to key in on.
USA lineup. Now they're missing at least 4 starters due to illness or injury.
And with that comes opportunity, right? So I always call her Megan. Emily Fox slides in on that left side. It'll be just her third cap. Big opportunity for her. And then up top, Megan Klingenberg talked about it in studio with Press and Pugh. Can they show up in these big matches? This is a different looking front line for the U.S. They've got a lot of pace. They're going to have to stretch that back line of France.
Our match referee is from Sweden, Pernilla Larsson. They're the captains. Amandine Henry for France, Alex Morgan for the U.S. Morgan, one of a few players for the U.S. bundled up, wearing the gloves, that warm headband. Temperatures, as Rob said, in the 30s. Unlike what we usually see from this U.S. team, right? Playing in January, California, either L.A. or San Jose. Much nicer.
If there was any soft side of those players, get it out of them early in January, right?
It's a great test for both of these teams. The French, though, are played in, as everyone is saying, right? Their league is going strong right now. The U.S. are off of a break, and WSL season is over. So it'll be interesting to watch how the U.S. comes out.
It's a psychological advantage, you'd have to say, for France, knowing they're coming in hot. But for the U.S., I think if things don't go as well today, they do have that to fall back on.
USA has done well versus France when you look at the series history, but in those last 7 games, it's been much more competitive. 3-2-2 for the U.S. in those last 7, and the U.S. in their last 2 games has not been able to beat France.
I think back to 2015, JP, when France actually got that first result against the U.S., and then the U.S. went on to win the World Cup. So these matches, while they're important to see where where teams, players are at, the result ultimately doesn't have that much of an impact come the World Cup time in the summer.
First of 10 games for the USA on the road to France. This will be one of the World Cup cities, one of the World Cup venues. Le Havre. Packed house today. Should be just under 25,000 for this one. Atmosphere great. France is going to be a fantastic host for the 2019 Women's World Cup to be seen here on the Fox family of networks. Fans, of course, still excited over that last Men's World Cup where France were the champions, led by Didier Deschamps. France will be in blue today, USA in white with the red and blue trim. And we should be set momentarily for action. Waiting on the whistle from Pernilla Larsson. Le Sommer, number 9, certainly a player to watch for France, their second leading scorer all time. Underway from Le Havre. Tunkara. Renard goes back to goal for the experienced Boadi. Off Tine. And our first whistle and foul.
It's going to be a fun battle. Ex-Thorn, Amandine Henry up against her old teammate, Lindsay Horan.
Played together in Portland. Of course, Horan has experience playing in France. Started her professional career with Paris Saint-Germain. right out of high school. Tarrant will have a throw in for the French. Touch from Cascarino. It's played back. Held up there by Cascarino. Doubled up. U.S. not allowing that cross. Good job team defending. They'll collect it. Juggled back by Moran, and then it's turned over. Cascarino. Fox is right on her. Staying close again to not allow the crosses from the flank early. It'll be a throw-in for the USA. Ali, what are you looking for early from the U.S.?
Well, that's one of them, JP. Those wide areas. The U.S. is going to have to close down those spaces and eliminate the cross, the service, because that is one of the areas where France is so dangerous.
This time the cross allowed. And it's there coming out to grab it and lob it ahead on this right side. Mallory Pugh high up in this right wing. In the middle, Crystal Dunn trying to work some magic. Taken down. That was not called a foul. Henry moving it ahead. Tarrant. Good. Crystal Dunn, normally a left back. The last several games to the U.S. playing higher up the field, so we'll see how she does there with Emily Fox as the starting left back.
And one of the ideas behind that move is to expose the space underneath that back line of France. They'll drop early, absorb, and then there's a little pocket that U.S. hopes they can get Crystal Dunn on the ball and run at that back line.
Reynard on it. She's their former captain, but when Diacre took over as coach, she gave the armband to Le Sommer. From what we're reading, it's made Reynard a better player because of less responsibility, able to focus more on her job and not on that captaincy. And Henry has thrived wearing the armband. Tapped by Reynard. Maisry, a terrific player on that left side. You see her push forward a lot. The U.S. will have to contend with her moves up the flank. Joined us late, USA missing 4 starters due to illness or injury. Rapinoe, Heath, O'Hara, and Ertz. They're not even on the subs bench today. We're told nothing is serious. They have a game against Spain on Tuesday. If this were a game that counted in competition, we'd probably see some of those players in the lineup.
And perhaps it's a blessing in disguise for the U.S. and for Jill. She didn't have to make decisions. Do I play some of these younger faces? Do I test players out early on?
Strong run to the right side. Vianney's cross. Le Sommer couldn't get to it. It's a free ball, though. Left there on the left side. Maisry. That's the left back. That's how high upfield she is. Getting stuck in there was Sonnet. The French have their first corner.
It's going to be a big test all day long for Sonnet on that right side against Maisry. This one skips through. Tine's on it. It's not great box organization by France, but they have enough players in there to collect that. They earn themselves a set piece where you know Reynard is a massive target.
Maisry will take this first corner for France. Striking at back post area. Over Nair stayed in play apparently, and now it's out finally for a goal kick for Alyssa Nair, who continues to get the starting assignments in goal for Jill Ellis. It seems like Jill Ellis has made that decision to go with Nair as the #1.
There was a lot of pressure, I think, on Jill Ellis to start sticking with the #1 goalkeeper, but just never know. I don't think that anyone has really stepped up and owned that role the way that a Hope Solo, the way that a Bryce Scurry did, and that's one area that the U.S. is likely going to be concerned about heading into the World Cup. They won't admit it, but we as the observers will.
Yeah. Nair's talented, has done well in the NWSL, but this will be her first time as the #1 goalkeeper in a major tournament, assuming that she stays in that #1 role for France.
She's a fantastic goalkeeper, but it's that psychological advantage the U.S. has always had when they've had a Hope Solo, Bryce Scurry, and net. I don't think she has that asserting presence the way both of those players did.
Reynard tapping it back. Bouadi gave it away. It's off gun. Maisry pushed it back. pressure. Probably played back nicely by Busalia. Buadi pushing it right, too far for Torrent. Intended for Horan, that's Tine. Very experienced French player, pushing it to the back, Tunkara. That ball's gonna go out. USA will have it. The US does not have that much of the ball in the first 6 minutes. They need to get into a rhythm, establish something, because Morgan has not had a touch on the ball yet. But it's early. Broken up by Busalia. US collapsing on it, getting to it. In the middle, lofted forward, and that's going to be too far. Moran made one run. We'll see how Crystal Dunn does in this position. She plays as an attacking player with her team in North Carolina. Champions, the Courage, the NWSL. With the U.S., she's been the left back.
Yeah, and even that last look is kind of a glimpse at the difference as Crystal Dunn is your number 10 versus Rose Lavelle. Rose Lavelle more than likely can slide that one through. You want to see Crystal Dunn just take on that back line, not necessarily play provider in those situations. Different profile of a player.
Eighth minute, zeros in the scoreboard. Again, no foul was given there. Morgan was the recipient of some rough treatment. Know how to goal score on the U.S. team than that player, Alex Morgan. 2 away from 100, but what a strong year last year. Finished with 18 goals in 19 games for the USA. 25 goals in her last 26.
Just hope she continues that form. She was fantastic last year. Think back to when she wasn't even starting.
Last World Cup. Remember, she started the tournament not nearly close to 100%, had some injuries, so that was not her tournament. 2019 could be a big moment. Mallory Pugh try to push it back. That was a dangerous pass back. Diani's got it. Needs that ball to go wider. Cascarino defended by Fox. Pushing it ahead. Fox with the speed to catch up. Cascarino put it into another gear. Cuts it back. Diani in the box. Diani scores. France leads.
The call by Diacre to give Diani the nod ahead of Govan. She's the one who won it and then plays Cascarino in. Cascarino just bodies off Emily Fox in air. Then it lands at the feet of Diani. The one who initiated the play continues her lay run into the box. You get that one by Tine, dragging the Dahlkemper to that near post, and then the cutback ball slotted in. And it's on for France. Learning moment there for the young Emily Fox.
But that started much earlier, right? Upfield, U.S. had possession, turned it over. The French counterattack that we've spoken about was in full force there.
And you saw them flying. They're committed. I mean, this team, even though they're starting out in their 4-2-3-1, it's an incredibly attacking-minded, flexible system. Diani's the one who's pulling off and playmaking.
It's her 5th international goal. Came in the 9th minute. She has scored 9 goals this year for Paris Saint-Germain, having a fantastic season in the French First Division. So how does the U.S. respond here? They concede the first goal.
Well, they haven't even found their way into the game. As you mentioned early on, that Alex Morgan had limited touches. And this is a good look at how France is going to set up defensively with Tine dropping in.
Ball from Dahlkemper. U.S. picking it up. The attacking third, but the ball's going to drift to the wing. Moran did her best to give the U.S. possession, but it's France's ball. How about the speed of Cascarino, though? It seemed like that was covered by Fox, and then she put it into another gear.
I was shocked. That touch, she looked steps away. Emily Fox is a pacey player. And the way she closed her down, and Emily Fox just slowed up at the wrong time.
by Dunn. Tries to win it back. Moran, MVP last year in WSL, had a fantastic season with Portland. Ryan pushing it to the outside. That was Le Sommer. The French coach in the background, Corinne Diacre, the first woman to coach a men's team in France, and the first female head coach since 2007 for France. Back to Nair. Nair moving it forward. Dahlkemper. Slowly bringing it up. Having playing for the North Carolina Courage. Sauerbrunn. The NWSL's Utah Royals to the left side. Back for Bryant. Some good defensive pressure by France. We're talking about the USA not in a rhythm, but part of that is the French are not letting them.
Yeah, and when we're speaking of the way that France likes to attack their opponent, usually with the width, a lot of times it's just recovery in their opponent's defensive third, the way the U.S. plays. These sides actually remind me of each other and how flexible they are, the attacking personalities they have, the way they like to press.
Here for France. Today's telecast is presented by Volkswagen, presenting partner of U.S. Soccer. Big deal announced earlier this week. Audrey. Sommer was going for it. Tine. Good blend of veterans and youth on this French team, much like the USA. From the right, another cross in. Le Sommer was looking for it. The U.S. has to clear, and they do. The run by Cruz. Strong tackle there from Busalia.
Busalia, one of the two defensive mids for France. Curious whether they're going to go with Gayoro or her. The lack of mobility from Busalia is not clear there. She covers well. That could be an area that the U.S. can look to take advantage of, is slide her out, because her and Henri will like to shepherd in front of that back line.
Takara. Right up the middle. It's a nice move by Amandine Henri. France pushing it ahead. Diani. She has the game's only goal. Came in the 9th minute. Her 5th international goal. Her 43rd appearance for her country. Ashri. Lost out by France. Throw in USA. First of 2 games to start 2019 for the U.S. Both on the road. This one in France Tuesday, in Spain, their first ever meeting against Spain, who we'll also see at the 2019 Women's World Cup. Tarrant with Fox there. One block, U.S. will collect it. Pushed ahead. So few touches so far from Morgan, and press up top. Done. Sonnet. Moran. Tine's after her. Took too long to get to press. Now this cover from Troyan. Nice move by Press. Help is coming. And it goes right to Bouhani. That time, though, the U.S. had 3 players in the box. We haven't seen them that far up the field with that much presence in the box.
Right, and they just struck a few passes together, and the ball pinged wide by Haran is a good one. It allows Kristen Press then to size up Tarrant, go at her 1v1. She gets the better of her, but then the cross is right into Bouhani.
Giving away again. Diani. Henri. Cascarino's pass. Knocked out of play. Your take Gally, in the first 15 minutes?
Well, for all the attention that we throw to the left side with Marjorie La Sommer and usually Renard flailing out to there and how she can penetrate on the dribble out of the back, a lot of the plays filtering down the right side with Cascarino, the young player. And I think they're having some success against Fox.
Diani. 3 players go after her. Trip there. Tine commits the foul on Horan.
It's the cut and the lingering leg there of Tine.
Tine has been a part of the last 2 Women's World Cup rosters for France.
And she's an important piece to this group, the way they play, even if they're in a 3-4-3, which they're not today. The way she can pop off that back line, it gives space for La Sommer to then filter inside. Same thing on the opposite side with Cascarino.
These are 2 of the favorites going into the 2019 Women's World Cup. France ranked number 3 by FIFA, US number 1. Germany is number 2, and the French will play Germany in their next game, so that's how they're starting 2019 against the USA and Germany.
I give my advantage to France in that matchup. I think the way France plays, the different systems they can employ and how flexible they are, it's incredibly difficult for opponents to figure out who's going to be potent in what moment.
Regain!
Dahlkemper's pass, finding Mallory Pugh. Defended by Marjorie. Block. Henri taps it ahead. U.S. recovers. Dahlkemper. Settled there. Press. Moran. Try to send it over Bouadi. Not much on that shot.
She's someone the U.S. will want to test, Bouadi. For as experienced as she is, she's prone to some gaps every now and then. And to get a look from outside, not a bad idea by Lindsey Horan. Sometimes, though, you want to drop this one over the top and make her make that decision. That's where she's precarious, coming off her line.
Morgan drops it back. France was appealing for the offside and got it. 19th minute, France with a 1-0 lead and a goal by Diani. Temperatures in the mid-30s in Le Havre. Bouadi will put it back into play. Back by press. And some of these balls played back in dangerous spots. Diani. Edge of the box right. Deflected ball. Ruled still in play until now. Now it's a corner. Second one for France. First one on the opposite side.
It's Diani who pounces on the loose ball by Kristen Bress. It was played between Emily Fox and Sauerbrunn. And that can happen in January. It's not an excuse, but these players aren't as sharp as they will become World Cup time.
29-year-old Eugénie Le Sommer sending it into the middle. She was looking for Renard. U.S. trying to move it ahead. Too far away from Pugh. Marjorie back on it. It's been tough for the USA to build out of the back and get players involved.
You said it before too, but credit the shape of France. Because they are possessing, because they are advancing numbers forward, they're in great shape to regain it in their opposition's third, and it's not allowing the U.S. to solve that pressure.
Bouadi back with it. France comes in unbeaten in their last 8 games. They've won 7 straight, scoring 27 goals and conceding just once. Played half the number of games, though, in 2018 as the U.S. did. The U.S. played 20, unbeaten in those 20. 18 were wins. They trail here. Only goal by Diani. Le Sommer. Marjorie. Higher pressure here from the U.S. Trying to force that turnover. Dunn gave it away. Right back of France. Tine. Moran takes over. Tackle missed there, and then it was lost out.
And that's one of the things about this lineup for the U.S., JP, is that they've got runners up top and Pugh, Press, and Morgan who want to go. And then in midfield, you now have Dunn. She's not going to be a player that wants to get it at her feet and play 1-2 combinations. That's going to fall on the shoulders of Haran and Bryan, and we haven't seen much of them.
It's a rough challenge from Henri against Bryan with 2 number 6s. Goes against Morgan Bryan. Playing in the midfield today, Julie Ertz not available. Big test though for Morgan Bryan. She's had to battle injuries over the last year. At one point, she was a everyday starter for this team.
She had that window,
past the
right?
World Cup and Olympics.
In November. Try to get strong and fit again. I think you're right. This is a massive match for her to see how she can hang at this level. The game has advanced since 2015 when she dominated.
This is a big test too, under the eyes of Jill Ellis, because you're playing a quality opponent like France on the road. The U.S. will get to that ball. Spin move there by Dunn, taken away. Immediate look for the counter. The U.S. will take over with Sonnet. As soon as France loses the ball, when they lose it though, they fight to try to win it right back.
And they have numbers in the area typically.
No, Lindsay Dunny, see if he can activate the front three quicker.
Kemper to Sauerbrunn. Those are 2 potential starting center backs at the 2019 Women's World Cup. Tierna Davidson still in that mix. She was the #1 draft choice at the NWSL draft, picked by Chicago. She was a starter, then went back to Stanford this year, got an injury, missed almost the entire collegiate year, came out of the draft early, and still one of those that could be a starter at this next World Cup.
There's plenty of time for her to get back and fully fit. And the form that she was in before that injury was fantastic as a young player. She didn't look fazed by the occasion whatsoever.
First dozen games, she was a 90-minute player. Majri. 24th minute, France with a 1-0 lead over the USA. French haven't lost at home in some 24 games, going back to 2015. Majri. Henri, the return pass. Might have been too much to expect in that tight space. Can the U.S. break? They've not been able to get out quickly on the counter. The first pass, their breakout pass needs to be better. That time, unfortunate for Pugh. She just lost it. Intercepted there. Quick ball in. Moran looks for options. Forced back by Busalia. Sonnet. Becky Sauerbrunn. Fox. That's a better ball movement for the U.S. Guard trying to disrupt Fox. Knocked away. U.S. collects. Moran floating one in. Ball played across, or attempted to. It's going to go out. Referee just pointed though to the corner.
It's a soft spot underneath that back line of France. And Lindsay Horan finds herself and drops that one over the top. And you saw the indecision of Buadi. Kristen Press can't wrap around it, but still earns the corner kick.
Saw that deflection on the replay. Press will push it back. The U.S. back near the circle. Sonnet beating the first player. He recovered though. Now it's taken away. Somer. Buadi has been consistently France's #1 goalkeeper. Played for the same club team, Lyon, since 2009. 26th minute, the goal by Diani, and France has the lead over the U.S. Majri. 6th minute. The U.S. really looking for their first good chance in this game. The attempt was for Morgan. Goes out.
France does such a good job of clogging up the center of the park, protecting it. The U.S. hasn't been able to advance out of that final third from there.
Missed there. Cascarino with a lot of press to get to the ball. Rosalia fighting for it. Good effort by Press to win it. Dahlkemper. Right up the middle. He's losing it again. Close to the attacking third. Try to win it back. That was terrific from Marjorie.
How about that confidence?
Fox had a look over the shoulder. Now knows about the speed of Cascarino. Cascarino, end line cutting at Diani. Wow. She got caught between a shot and finding Tine in front. But cleaner touch, and they might have had a lead, bigger lead.
Impressed by Cascarino, that woman there, having a field day on that right side. Even in that last attack, the patience just to hold up that touch so then Diani can get into this slot back run.
Tine. Small stretch for U.S. defense, but Marjorie couldn't control it. Crystal Dawn. Sonnet. There's that pressure from Marjorie. Dahlkemper. Getting close to the half-hour mark. Dahlkemper going long. Press after it. Chased by Turan. Kristen Press. Trying to bring it towards the middle. Now forced back up by Cascarino. They're not on the same page with Moran. It's going to go out for France goal kick.
The U.S. still afraid to penetrate centrally against France. That last ball by Dahlkemper is a good one to open up France, but this is Cascarino. Just flying down that right side. Savviness to split that. I think Diani goes with the wrong foot. She tries to open up with her right. I think if she can frame her body such and take it with the inside of her left, she can slot that one far.
France coming back. Right side, Cascarino. Diani and Le Sommer making runs. Now the outside run on the right. Ball crossed in. Le Sommer! Save by Nair. Big save for Le Sommer. Against France's top goal scorer.
It's Cascarino again who sets this one up, buys time for that outside back to Ron to get forward, and then Le Sommer, so patient, just allowing Emily Sonnet to have all eyes on the ball and then sneaks in on her at the last second, tries to duck that one down. Nair quick to it. That's a fantastic looking attack by France. I know the U.S. worked on box organization because they knew service was going to be whipped in, but that one caught them.
That's a big save. The way France is playing, you can't afford to go down by a couple of goals.
We've seen that before in the She Believes.
That was a couple of years ago, that big win for France. That's when the USA were experimenting, looking at players, looking at the three back. That was probably the start and the end of the three back.
You're right.
Marjorie. Le Sommer. We had the open player, Marjorie, who couldn't connect. Valerie Pugh's pass blocked again. Henri. Reynard. Tunkara. Half-hour mark. So far, so good for the French. Diani's goal in the 9th minute. Cascarino continuing to impress on the right. Playing it across, and there got to it. U.S. going to have to make some adjustments soon against Cascarino. Become a handful for Fox. Turan. Good job there by Emily Fox. Still playing at the University of North Carolina. Press with Dunn and Pugh. Press. Good move there. Quick shot.
That's some bright play right there by Kristen Press. It was the outlet ball into Alex Morgan. Alex Morgan has Kristen Press, who's coming up underneath, and then that one touch just slices by Tunkara, drives right at her, and then cuts her right there. And now she's got a window to unleash that shot, but she's still pretty far away to beat Buati.
In this kind of a game, you can see what the USA is missing in the creativity of Rapinoe, Heath, and Lavelle. Those are good one-on-one players that would probably have a little bit more success trying to break down the French.
Exactly, because right now it's so tight centrally. If you want to find those wide players, they can get the ball to their feet. If it is a Tobin Heath, if it is Rapinoe, and they can create. But with Press and Pugh, they're flyers.
Brought down to this right side. Done finding Mallory Pugh. That's blocked.
And think of how many times we've seen the U.S. try to just penetrate one ball past that first line of defense of France centrally. It's not happening. They're not finding the center mids to set play.
You mentioned those players that are out. Let's talk about the players that are in. How can the U.S. change to be effective with those players?
Well, I think you have to start playing with the positioning of Dunn, Horan, and Morgan Bryant. I would want to see Horan be the one to bring it out of the back. She's got to get in a little space behind Tine, but in front of Henry and Busalia, where she can get on the half turn and face up. Then you can start to combine.
France has controlled the pace of this game. The players are in season form. We mentioned that at the top. All playing in the French league for the most part. Diani. Busalia is after it. It's going to be cleared away. France losing it. Throwing the U.S. That's off Reynard.
And even if the U.S., with the players that are on the pitch right now, JP, if they're not going to be able to build up as much as they prefer, if they want to hit on the break, they're going to have to take advantage of when Renard comes forward. That's got to be something they're looking for, because she's the player that will advance it. We saw her in the attacking third, and the U.S. was slow to get out.
Fox pass ahead for Press. And Bryant. Sour run. Kemper. 34th minute. U.S. trailing France on a goal by Diani. 5th international goal came in the 9th minute. Right side. Stopped out. Went after it. Now was the player down.
But this is a better look from the U.S. You have Pugh getting it to her feet and slicing inside. That opens up the space for then Dunn to make that run out of midfield.
Keep playing regularized, but with more pace.
U.S. trailing. The goal by Diani. That was it earlier in the game. It's the only goal. Busalia leaves it off. Tunkara. 35th minute. Part of what we're told is a sellout crowd in Le Havre. Great atmosphere and great expectations for France, who have disappointed when they've come up to some big games. 4th place finish, 2011 Women's World Cup. Everyone thought they were on their way, but after that, next 4 major tournaments out in the quarterfinals, and they could end up facing the U.S. in the quarterfinals of the upcoming Women's World Cup if things go according to the way they're lined up, with the U.S. winning their group and France winning theirs. So you could see this matchup again. Kemper. Settled by Bryant. And you can count the touches Alex Morgan has made on one hand instead of fingers left. They've not been able to find her today.
And she's been isolated when they have. Which is a position that she's become accustomed to. The evolution, her play going from a 2-front with Abby Wambach and then evolving into this 3-front, being isolated centrally.
Morgan makes those great runs, right? But If you don't have the ball, you can't find
Doesn't
it.
matter.
Horan. Done. That's the area that it's breaking up for the U.S. Morgan get a fortunate bounce. That's that area in the attacking third where it seems like that next ball has to be so much better, and it hasn't been.
The run there by Morgan opened up that space for Dunn underneath, who just spoke about her movement.
Fox throw in. Moran fighting off two challenges that went down. Now the referee's going to stop and call a handball. She landed on the ball.
Doing the work at both ends. Cascarino there, and then Tarrant comes up. I think she clips her a bit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, right? Two players defending against her, and she lands on the ball. Jill Ellis looking on. Can make up to 6 changes. This is a friendly. I'm sure we'll see some changes. But we'll see how much she gives the players on the field. She doesn't have to make changes at halftime, but she might.
I'm curious to see how she handles Fox situation. Because right now Fox is trying to get close, then she's giving too much space. She can't figure out her positioning against Cascarino.
Stiani, strong run, try to cut it back for LeSamer. Cuts that out. I think that's going to be a corner.
Stiani, who gets on the end of the ball that slipped through there, and then that does skip out of bounds. Off of Fox.
It is a corner. Don't know why the French fans were booing. Off that third corner to the middle. Second ball. Bernard kept it active for Diani. Diani shot saved by Nair. Wow, that's 2 big saves for her.
And I thought Diani was offside.
That's why you play to the whistle, right? Because I was thinking the same thing.
And she clearly is in an offside position. The referee misses it, but Alyssa Nair, quick reaction save.
Yep, 2 big ones. Consecutive, the last 2 big saves. That's what Morgan is probably talking about, the offside. 39th minute, France leading 1-0 over the U.S. Make the argument, if it weren't for those 2 big saves by Nair, the French would be dominating right now on the scoreboard.
Without a doubt, and they're dominating the flow of play.
Gonna take their time with this corner. There's one of the targets, Reynard. The size difference between her and Dahlkemper. 40th minute, U.S. down by 1. Majri to the middle, knotted down, and there again. Dean Henry.
You can see the zoners of the U.S. If it's in your zone, you've got to go win it. 2 French players there to vie for it, no U.S. player. It's too easy.
Shot it upfield. Kept it rolling, the offside flag up on the U.S.
It's one of the few times that we've seen Pugh pull wide and get a ball, trying to lead her into space, and just a hair offside, if at all.
Carly Lloyd and others warming up. 41st minute. Majri. You know, for all the talk about Majri and this left side, right? It's the right side.
Yep,
Cascarino.
Right.
And the number 4 player, Tarrant. And Diani's popped up on that side. Ball played in. Horan after it. Guadi came out. Not on the same page with her right back, Tarrant. The U.S. is going to have a corner. short. Done. End line. Playing it across. Moran was after it. Majri got a good clear. Headed once again by Horan, and that's too close to Bouhaddi.
They almost catch French sleeping on this one. Reynard used that size advantage. This is the ball that's put back across. And then a poor clearance by Majri, just too casual. Pugh trying to center that first time. I think she can have a go there. She's got enough space.
AT&T halftime with Rob, Megan, and Heather. They'll break down the USA defensively. Diani. Complete that pass. First time they were not on the same page. She and Cascarino.
I like Diani for France in that spearhead position, leading the line over Govan. I think she offers more back to goal. I think her touch is cleaner, and you're just seeing it in these moments where she can spin her defender or she can lay another player in.
Kara. Salia. Kara. Try the right side. Ball looked like it was going to be strong. Picked up. Diani. Into the corner. US touched it last.
It's just a direct ball played in. The U.S. can't get a good clearance, and it lands at the feet of Tine. Now she's got space to run at the back line and slips Diani in.
Should look dangerous on these set pieces. Driven by Le Sommer. Clear it out. Salia. Awkward hit right to Nair. This is the busiest Nair has had to be in the last several games that the U.S. has played, right? At least 3 quality chances for France. First one to goal by Diani, and then she made 2 excellent saves after that.
And that's taken into consideration qualifying. Level of opponent in CONCACAF.
Henry will push it back. Bouhaddi. That long clearance will go right back to the USA's Dahlkemper. Done. Pulling it back. Morgan Bryant. It's as high upfield as she has been in this first half during the run-up play. Let's see, Horan blocked. Tarrant. U.S. recovers. Good move by press. Horan up for Morgan, and Bouhaddi got to it. Melissa was there anyway, either for an offside or a foul, with Morgan going in hard.
It's a really good idea by Lindsey Horan. You can see the timing of the run with Alex Morgan. I think she's a step ahead. Bouhaddi well off her line, reading it. And it just catches Alex Morgan as she rises up. Those are not bad ideas for the U.S. Rain those balls in on Bouhaddi. Make her make a decision.
Well, temperatures in the 30s, not bothering some of the French supporters.
It's like Lambeau.
Yeah. Your Packers, I forgot.
Yes, I've forgotten this season too, intentionally.
Corinne Diacre has to be pleased with this French effort. Only disappointed for her is that they're not up by more. As for Jill Ellis, things to think about at halftime. How long will she give some of these players out there? They make up to 6 subs. And even with injury and illness, it's a pretty deep USA bench. Sonnet. Mallory Pugh. Dahlkemper. Bouhaddi came out, grabbed it at the edge of the box. 1 minute. Added on in stoppage time. We're in that minute. The ball's going to be cleared out between the benches.
20 seconds.
Seconds left in this first half. Off that throw in. They played it back. Majri. Reynard. She's Gonna go back to her goalkeeper. Past the 1 minute, minimum of 1 in stoppage time. That'll do it. It's the final whistle. First half is over after 45 minutes. All France right now to go by Diani. Her 5th international goal came in the 9th minute. The assist from Cascarino, Rob, Megan, and Heather coming up on the AT&T halftime report.